You know, I'm not afraid to admit it, I'm a pretty big Nintendo fan. When it comes to the games, music, or basically anything surrounding the brand, I have a lot of emotional and nostalgic attachment to the console as long as present day enjoyment from it. Even as I'm recording this right now, I'm listening to the Wii Bowling theme to kind of relax. You know, those compilations online with a bunch of the Nintendo music that you know and love from all the past games that you love playing. And recently with the new light of the Nintendo Switch 2, a whole bunch of other things to be excited about, except, well, the pricing and, you know, all the situations going around that, but pretty sure you all know about that if you're within this kind of community. But if you're not, just know pricing ain't looking too hot. And some of the games, I'm not gonna lie, even though I got really excited while watching the Switch 2 Direct.
Oh! It's a Zelda! It's the Zelda time! It's you what? You, that's crazy!
I am feeling just a little low about the kind of stuff that Nintendo's bringing out. Nevertheless, I'm a big Nintendo fan. Love the Legend of Zelda series, been playing that recently with my girlfriend. But, you know, every now and again, I think about the Wii U during times like this. Not because I played it much, honestly, I kind of barely knew it existed when it came out, but it's kind of one of those examples where a big company like Nintendo just kind of misses the mark, like, hard. And the thing is, it wasn't just a weird console, it was kind of like a lesson, kind of slow motion car crash that taught the entire gaming industry, and maybe even Nintendo themselves, how innovation can flop when it's not paired with clarity. I'm just really hoping that they're not doing the same with the Nintendo Switch 2. I can't help but feel that we're having the same kind of vibes kind of playing out right here. Let's start with what might be the Wii U's biggest problem. No one knew what the hell it was. I mean, the name? Confusing. The ads? Oh lord. I mean, you guys remember those Smash Brothers ads?
This is the one my brother has. They fight with you. I'm getting one of these. Mario and Peach together. Me and Gina together.
Yeah, the console itself was also confusing. I mean, picture this. You walk into a store and you see the thing called the Wii U. It kind of looks like a Wii, it smells like a Wii, it tastes like a Wii, and the controller looks like a rejected iPad prototype. And the marketing, it basically says, this is the Wii, but somehow newer? A lot of people, including the actual consumers and not just the Nintendo diehards, literally thought it was an accessory for the original Wii. And that's on Nintendo. They kept the name Wii to try and ride the same wave of their previous success, but it backfired significantly. Instead of building hype around the console, it kind of built confusion. I even did a survey while researching for this video, and out of 36 people that took my survey, 4 never even heard of the Wii U. Not just didn't own one, never even heard of it. That's not ideal. And the fact that the same people in the survey who never heard about the Wii U actually knew what the Wii was and enjoyed it significantly speaks volumes about the effects of the marketing. And even if you did know what it was, the next question was, why would you buy one? Especially when the game library it came with was so thin. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nintendo's always had those amazing first-party titles, no doubt about that. But historically, they needed help from third-party developers to kind of fill out and kind of flesh out their game libraries. The Wii U didn't get support at all because of this lack of trust in its ability to kind of capture the market. No real confidence from big publishers. And in a world where people are comparing libraries before they drop hundreds of dollars on a console, that's kind of a death sentence for your whole marketing scheme. My survey seemed to back this up too, because when I asked people what influences their console purchases, game selection came in second place. And a bunch of people specifically called out the Wii U's weak third-party lineup as a reason for why they avoided it. But it's not like the console was totally barren. You know, you had Mario Kart 8, which banger Mario Kart, by the way, probably one of my favorites. You know, Mario Kart Wii still got the first place medal there. You also got Smash Brothers, Bayonetta 2, and Splatoon, which, by the way, I just recently played Splatoon 3. That is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Very unique combat style. But even if you have all these exclusives and all these fresh and new and exciting games, why would it matter if it's on a system that nobody's buying in the first place? But let's talk about that gamepad, right? The hardware that didn't help. It was supposed to be the Wii U's big innovation, but instead of blowing people's minds, it mostly just confused them. It wasn't quite a handheld, but it also wasn't quite a console or a traditional controller, and it didn't really do anything unique to justify its existence. People in my survey specifically said it felt bulky, awkward, like a 3DS knockoff trying to be a tablet. And to be fair, it was in the early 2010s when tablets and smartphones were taking over. So if your console was trying to be part of that iPad kid generation, people notice. And the missing features didn't help either. No DVD playback like every other console at the time, like the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. no GameCube support, which is crazy because it seems like every Nintendo console tries to put a little bit of backwards compatibility in there, and no real reason for people to upgrade from their existing Wii, especially not for money. A lot of people didn't upgrade to the Wii U specifically because they felt as though their Wii was sufficient enough for their needs. And to top it all off, Nintendo released the Wii U right before Sony and Microsoft came swinging with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. These consoles were way stronger, sleeker, and had better support from developers compared to the Wii U. They didn't just meet gamer expectations, they redefined them. By comparison, the Wii U already felt like yesterday's news. Even a study I read about the issue said that while people still love Nintendo as a brand, like they love the games, the legacy, all that stuff, the Wii U itself was just that one thing that was dragging the reputation down. And all this led to one thing: failure. Huge failure. I mean, Nintendo had to slash their sales projections in half within the first couple of years of this console being out. Not only were customers not buying the console, but the developers weren't developing for it either. And it wasn't just about numbers, it was about trust. Nintendo's image took a huge hit after this. That could have been the end of the story, but it wasn't. When they developed the Wii, they had the intention of mind of creating a console that shakes up the generations of games to come and redefines the gaming industry. They kind of wanted to capture that same lightning in a bottle. Because of this kind of sentiment, along with them trying to learn from their mistakes, then came the Switch. And I gotta say, the Nintendo Switch was one of the greatest comebacks in gaming history. I mean, Nintendo looked at everything that was wrong with the Wii U, the vague marketing, the awkward hardware, and the lack of third-party support. Granted, Joy-Con drift still exists. And they flipped it. The Switch had a clear message, play anywhere, home or handheld. It didn't look like it was trying to be a home console only or a handheld console only with that weird gray area that the bulky Wii U had, but they kind of kept it clear and simple this time around. Play anywhere, home or handheld, period. It also launched with some absolute bangers. I mean, Breath of the Wild, you ever hear that game? It brought back third-party devs, and instead of creating weird gimmicks, it just kind of worked. Even the online services got better. I mean, the retro games came back, and, slowly, Nintendo rebuilt that trust it lost during the Wii U years. And honestly, the Wii U's failure wasn't just about being a bad console. It was a lesson in what happens when you lose touch with your audience. I mean, when innovation doesn't land, when you forget how to communicate clearly, these are important things that you have to take into consideration when designing a piece of technology for your fan base. But Nintendo learned, and that's why the Switch worked, right? I mean, yeah, it kind of still works, sometimes, my joystick, my character be running in circles, and, the software is kind of underdeveloped and the hardware is kind of underdeveloped for things, and, I miss the UI menu sounds, but, apparently, everybody loves the Switch, right? Now, with the Switch 2 on the horizon, I wonder if they'll pull it off again, or if we'll be talking about another Wii U moment in the futures. But you know what? Who cares? And at least for now, we know what not to do, Nintendo, right? Please don't mess up the Switch 2.